We are live now with Elliott Locke from what company?
I am from BCN Fintech and Abroaden.
BCN, what is BCN Fintech?
BCN Fintech is the largest community dedicated to connecting and promoting the financial technology ecosystem here in Barcelona.
Well, why do we need to have a BCN Fintech in Barcelona?
Well, the thing about Barcelona, coming from abroad, I moved here in 2016, and the thing, people from outside of Barcelona who've never come here to work or maybe just come to visit it or haven't even visited at all, they think of Barcelona with what I call the three C's.
The three C's?
The three C's. They associate Barcelona with the culture,
the
climate, and the cuisine.
Oh,
and,
okay.
Yeah, and those things are fantastic. Barcelona certainly ranks, very high up on the world ratings for all three of those. But what doesn't get picked up when people are looking at Barcelona from the outside is this city is actually a massive, massive innovation and tech hub. And it's not just financial technology, it's all sorts of technology. But what I realized at one point, just as the pandemic was happening, was that the financial technology community that existed before just kind of disappeared. And I was talking with our friend Clemens Richlake, our other co-founder, about this at the time, and we thought, well, hey, it's sort of a pity that there isn't any financial technology company or organization here to help grow this sector.
Okay.
And we said, well, hey, why don't we try to put something together?
So, just for transparency reasons, tell them who the founders of the BCN Fintech are.
Well, there's myself, there's Clement Richlik, Victor over here, he's with us, and we have Jamie Gartner-Dimitri, who is Jamie, we call her Jamie, who is our fourth board member and treasurer. She does a fantastic job.
And she's in there taking care of the people while we're out here having fun podcasting.
That's right.
All right, so the BCN Fintech is showcasing the great talent that exists in Barcelona.
That's correct.
In companies that are fintech. Now, what does fintech mean? I know you said financial technology.
That's correct.
But what does that mean?
So financial technology is basically any technology that makes financial services more modern, or it can be anything related to how we experience it as end users, anything to help banks do their jobs better, the end user being anyone who is taking this technology to pretty much improve anything related to the movement of money, the management or creation of wealth, anything really related to financial services.
Okay, and so when we're here at the Barcelona International Community Day, this is a chance where the city takes the time to acknowledge different providers that are making life better for people who have chosen to come to Barcelona and make it their home. And so how does the BCN Fintech fit into that context?
Well, as we know, as members of the international community, Barcelona is an international city. Full stop. What is it, 1 out of 4 residents here are foreign?
Yeah,
something
almost,
like that. Yeah, and many of us are coming from places where either we're migrating from another tech ecosystem, or we have a tech background, or we have some sort of desire to work in the tech community. And yet, just like anything else, being a foreigner in a foreign country, in a foreign city, it's sometimes difficult to build your network and to get into the job ecosystem that you want to work in. And we thought that BCN Fintech would be a great way to help people who are not only already working in this space connect and grow their network, but people who want to learn about financial technology, who want to work in this sector, and who might not necessarily have these local connections, to have a place that they could come and do that.
Excellent. And so how are you connected to FinTech? What's your deal there?
So I have, I want to say as long as I've known, had an interest in finance. Once upon a time, I used to be a drummer and a sound engineer, a really long time ago. And then I decided I'd change all that up, move to Belgium and study business.
So you came here from Belgium?
That's correct, that's correct.
Oh, so you have an American accent.
That's right. So I'm originally from Nashville, Tennessee.
Okay.
Yes, I moved over in 2002, went to university there in Belgium. So growing up in Nashville, that was the music connection. But I always was, actually it's kind of neat about how that worked out, because I was taking lessons with some well-known studio and session drummers, and a guy who had his own studio, and I knew tons of people in the business. And what they were telling me, and the main lesson I got is, like, if you want to be a musician, study business. Because making music's great, but if you're going to do this as a living, you need to know how the numbers work. And that always stuck with me.
See, now I'm going to think of you like in a Phil Collins context.
Yeah,
Drummer, singer, and now...
Yeah, the difference is that he's actually a competent drummer.
Oh, okay. Competency is
that's the
important.
difference, yes, as it turns out. But I wound up going to studying business, and then that whole financial thing stuck in my mind.
So you came from Belgium, where we have all this powerful EU stuff going
Exactly.
on. Why Barcelona?
Well, I was working in a bank up there. I had a wonderful time. That's where I got my start in finance. And then just in 2015, my wife and I decided, hey, we should take a little bit of a career break sabbatical, traveled around for a bit. And at the end of that, the choice was either to settle down and continue on in Belgium or have another adventure somewhere else. I became a Belgian at this point, and I thought, well, Barcelona seems like an interesting place. Could learn about Southern Europe, decent job market. You know, the 3 C's were already there.
All these things is that you're doing things abroad. So
That's right.
I find it fascinating what you called your company. What's your
That's
company
right.
called again?
My company's name is Abroaden. So actually,
Abroaden.
Abroaden, yes, it's the financial well-being and education platform for people living and working abroad. And just to loop back to the Barcelona side, I moved here to work in a fintech, one of the first ones here, and one thing led to another. I decided to found Abroaden because what I have learned is, in my experience in talking to countless other people in the international community, is like anyone else, we all have financial needs, but the issues that we run into are that we just lack financial education. And when we live and work in different countries where we're not so familiar with the local customs, or we don't know how financial products can move across borders, it makes us hesitate. It makes us put off these important decisions. So what Abroaden does is it empowers people in the international community using technology to stay on top of all their finances, to learn about financial topics, to make them make better financial decisions or to help them with that.
So
and
financial literacy?
Financial literacy.
Okay.
Using data to empower your decisions, using tools to understand what you're looking at, and giving you the support you need to reach your goals regardless of where you call home.
Break this down for me. So
Of course.
why would I use Abroaden for me? Why do I want this financial literacy for me?
Well, it's very important. Everyone, when I started Abroaden, everyone has, regardless of where they come from, a lack of financial education. We don't teach this. I was actually taught this in Tennessee in high school. Like my last semester, I had to take what they call personal economics. And it was just like basics of bank accounts, how loans work, mortgages, savings accounts, all that stuff. And I just took that for granted, thinking, oh, everybody learns this. And it turns out the state of Tennessee is doing something exceptionally rare in the world. So that's one side of it. Everyone needs it. But when you're living abroad, when you're trying to integrate into a culture, learning the local language is already hard enough. Trying to understand personal finance questions, trying to understand local products, trying to understand how that fits within your global goal, that gets much more difficult. And it's very hard to get that information.
So what is a typical example of errors that are made by expats when they live abroad?
In terms of financial services, well, the thing is we put it off. That's the first mistake we make. We're not thinking about the fact that regardless of what's happening right now, if we don't start thinking about our future selves, the future that we want to have, the future that we envision, isn't going to be a reality unless we wind up winning the lottery somewhere down the road. So we're putting off these decisions, right?
Okay.
The hesitation is the first part, and I really feel that that's coming from the lack of knowledge.
Okay.
Second part,
Go.
if I can.
Please.
You asked a founder a question, he's not going to stop talking until you interrupt him.
All right, so what's the second thing?
So the second thing about that is like, well, what happens if I live in a few different countries? How do I understand, well, maybe I got a pension plan in France, maybe I have some investment accounts in the Netherlands. What happens when I move to Spain? How do I figure out how that works out? What do we wind up doing? We'll end up hesitating on that. And especially once we arrive in a new country, well, we've got a lot of stuff going on in our mind.
Well, no, I think I understand. It resonates perfectly because I came here because I chased a miniskirt many years ago. I decided I wanted to stay in Barcelona, but then I started to have accounts in different countries where I was visiting a lot or living. I was going to France, I was going to the UK, I was going to Germany, the Netherlands, been to many, many times. And then all of a sudden I have compliance issues.
Yes.
And so that's why it resonates. So you help foreigners with compliance issues, not just Americans or U.S. nationals, anybody.
Everybody, just to understand, hey, well, this product here, like this investment plan, hey, maybe this is really good for you because it's going to not get stuck behind a border when you move, and like maybe this other one here, well, it's nice if you never leave one country, but if you do, then it's probably going to stay behind, and it could create a tax issue, and ultimately it's going to harm your ability to reach your financial goals.
So you help people have a holistic perspective on their financial planning needs.
Yes.
And how does Abroaden make money?
How don't we make money? No. Pretty much we do a couple things. So we have a subscription on our platform where you get access to all of our courses, all of our content, our tools, all this fantastic stuff that you can use in your day-to-day. We're doing exclusive content all the time. And we also do one-on-one consultations where it's like one-on-one tutoring, where we can dive into a subject that might be a little bit complex, or maybe it's just something you want to have a little bit extra reinforcement with. And you have that with myself or another person on our team where we have qualifications. We've worked in the financial sector for combined about 30 years.
All right, and can I invest in your company if I want to grow with Abroaden? Can I put some money towards you?
You absolutely could.
Excellent. So we'll be looking at that. All right, you talked about the 3 C's.
Yes.
Which is your favorite C in Barcelona?
I hate to say this. I spent so much time in the office. I think I have a vitamin D deficiency, so I should really take advantage of the climate more. No, it's a tough one. The food.
Climate, culture, and cuisine.
Yes,
right?
I've never had a bad meal here.
Well,
which is fantastic. And I love going out in the city just because you look up and you look around. Like, you just have the rich culture, the millennia of culture that has been built here just right in front of you. I think we take it for granted. You know, my kids were both born here. We live in Pobla Sec, just up the street. And I don't think they appreciate just in that space alone.
Yeah.
You know, if they have a neighborhood fortress, Olympic Stadium, Jean Miro Museum, palace with an art gallery in it, a funicular. If we ever leave here, I'm going to have to really be selective about where we land.
I was going to ask you why you chose Barcelona, but I think you just answered that question. There's so much to offer in a very compact area. Catalan culture, cuisine, and there was another one.
Culture, cuisine, and climate.
Okay, but let's not forget community.
And community, yes.
Barcelona's big on Catalan community.
Yes.
And you live the culture, you have the great cuisine. Elliot, anything else you'd like to say?
No, I mean, just touching on that community part, that's been the best part about BC and FinTech, is we were able to leverage the fact that Barcelona, and this is something I've learned here, and I really appreciate it. Here in Barcelona and in Catalonia, it's such a social culture. There's all sorts of events. People love to get together and talk, and it's not just about, you know, socializing with friends. The business networking is absolutely fantastic, and that's been amazing with the events we do at BC and FinTech. You know, a lot of them will do like these learning sessions where we'll interview a panelist, or we'll have a panel to talk about some financial topic, and then have networking afterwards. And the networking afterwards, we have to kick people out because they're having such a good time, right? Like, and that for me, it says so much about what's amazing about this city.
Yeah, one of the challenges I think in Barcelona is there's so many things to choose from. Literally any night of the week you go out, there's something to do, and you have choice paralysis.
Yes.
So one of the things I always recommend going to the BCM FinTech, because not only is it about financial technology, there's cool entrepreneurship there, there's headhunters there, you're learning about opportunities, as you said, great networking, but it doesn't always have to be about financial technology or FinTech stuff specifically, but I do always learn something there.
Yes.
So it's educational, it's fun, great networking, and we can learn these things at Barcelona Metropolitan.
Yes.
Let me ask you, do you know Entre Tramites?
I do know Entre Tramites.
How do you know them?
Well, I've met their co-founders before. Javier and Louis are fantastic people. In full disclosure, we are partnered with them on Abroaden. But no,
how so? How do you partner with them?
So again, we talk about helping people with their financial well-being. We don't do taxes, but you can't have investing in taxes. Or if you can, please tell me I'm going to move there. No offense to Barcelona, but if it's a tax-free investment destination, but no, like we get these questions and we're not professionally able to answer them. So we work with people who can help them. And we like what they do because, well, Entre Tramites, like many gestor services here in Spain, they know a lot what it's like to have these foreign assets or to come in and you not necessarily have started your career here, but you're halfway through your wealth building journeys. And
you know, I also see a lot of really bad advice given on chat groups and stuff that's not quite accurate.
That's correct.
Because taxes and paperwork are very person specific. And Entre Tramites, you know what they do?
What did they do?
They are revolutionizing paperwork.
That's
brother.
amazing.
So
that's amazing. Well, so actually at the BC and FinTech booth, we have a downloadable guide you can pick up, and we can put it on the link to this podcast. It's our 5 steps to enhance your financial superpowers here in Spain. And one of those is don't do your own taxes. I have met some people who said, well, I'm going to just file my own taxes, which you can do in other countries quite easily. You could try it here. You will get a cultural introduction to how the tributario works. and it might not be the most pleasant of experiences. So entrepreneurship meetings, I think they do a very good job.
You know, one thing I forgot to ask you. So if people want to come to BCN FinTech,
Yes.
how can they get involved, and where do you meet?
So we meet at least once a month. It depends on the event we're doing. If we're doing one of our flagship afterworks, where we're doing a panel or an interview with someone, we're at the Barcelona Finance Hub. It's in Passeig de Gràcia on top of the Stock Exchange building. One of the nicest co-working spaces in town. The view pretty much can't be beat, aside from a couple other places, but the location, absolutely fantastic. Otherwise, we are at our friends Bar and Brew, our beer and vermouth sponsor, where we are just doing informal networking. You know, come out, we can talk fintech, it's fintech folks, but it's a good excuse to get out, meet someone, have a drink. They have great food there. And otherwise, we also are doing other events based on, well, maybe not demand, or where we see an opportunity to help grow knowledge.
All right, Elliott Locke from BCN FinTech, my co-founder, as well as the CEO of Abroaden.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Victor. It's always a pleasure to chat.
I'll go inside and I'll see you soon.
Perfect.
And we will be more fintechy.
That's right.